Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. The former CEO of McDonald's has actually warned that elevated job openings amid the labor shortage will lead to a catastrophe. This is a grim warning about jobs and unemployment in 2022. In fact, a record 4.5 million Americans actually quit their jobs in November of last year. Welcome to our channel, everyone. My name is Dr. Chhoda with Ignition Time. Please, if you're not a member of our community yet, subscribe and also click the like button. In fact, smash that like button. Welcome to our channel, everyone. The former CEO of McDonald's, Ed Rensi, he argued that Americans are feeling the labor shortage big time, and he said that this situation is, I quote, a nightmare. Rensi was actually speaking with Fox News host Neil Cavuto on Coast to Coast Cavuto's show, and he warned that continued elevated job openings amid the labor shortage will lead to a catastrophe. In fact, he made these comments shortly after it was revealed that a record number of Americans quit their jobs in November of 2021. And this actually highlights how persistent the turmoil is in the labor market and how this has made it very challenging for employers to fill open positions. Now, let's take a look at the former McDonald's CEO, Ed Rensi, as he explains what he calls the confluence of events leading to the labor shortages, as data revealed a record number of Americans quitting their jobs in November 2021. Let's roll the tape and see what Rensi had to say. Let's check it out.
I have no idea if this continues the way it is, it's going to be nothing but a greater and greater catastrophe. One of the things I think we're overlooking a little bit is that the baby boomers were born from 1946 to 64. The oldest is 76 and the youngest is 58. But the first child of the baby boomers is starting to reach 56 years of age. So the retirement numbers are going to start to accelerate, and there's going to be a lot of upward mobility because they're leaving the workforce, which is going to leave a shortage at the bottom end. And boy, we're feeling it big time in restaurants, barbershops, daycare centers. It's a nightmare. And the other problem we got, the pandemic, this new strain of virus is causing people to stay home because they're ill and applying for unemployment. And the unemployment benefits are very rich, and there's no reason to go back to work. So you've got a confluence of events here that are really starting to pile on top of one another. Now we're coming into the season of the summer when we need part-time workers in restaurants and other places because of seasonality. We're never going to find them. And we're starting to substitute automation and digital for people. And we're also resetting the business in restaurants particularly, resetting the menus, resetting the operating hours, cutting back on the days we're open. There's going to be a major change in what's happening in the restaurant industry and other small businesses because of this shortage.
Folks, as all of this is happening, the U.S. Labor Department said that 4.5 million Americans, that's 3% of the workforce, actually quit their jobs in November, and this was matching the high from September. Now, this is up from 4.2 million Americans who actually quit their jobs in October, and it tops the previous record of 4.4 million Americans who quit their jobs in September. Think about this for a second. The pre-pandemic level was about 3.6 million, but post-pandemic, 4.4 million Americans quit their jobs in September. 4.2 million quit their jobs in October, and 4.5 million quit their jobs in November. In fact, all of this data came before the highly contagious Omicron variant of the COVID pandemic of the COVID virus began disrupting the economy. In fact, resignations in November were concentrated in specific sectors like accommodation and food services, healthcare, and social assistance, not to mention transportation, housing, and utilities. A majority of people quit for a new job. In fact, Rensi stressed that if the trend continues the way it is, it's going to be nothing but a greater and greater catastrophe. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. This is definitely alarming. This new data actually suggests that new workers, empowered workers, are actually quitting their jobs in favor of better wages, better working conditions, and more flexible hours because many businesses are trying to attract new workers with higher salaries. This is a trend that I have covered on our channel. It's a trend that I call the Great Resignation. In fact, Rensi pointed to a factor that he believes no one is talking about, and he said more retirements are contributing to the problem. In fact, I have done another video on our channel where I've talked about retirements creating what could potentially be a big crash in the US economy. It's definitely affecting jobs and employment as we know it. In fact, Renzi said that the oldest of the baby boomers is 76 and the youngest is 58. And he said, I quote, the first child of the baby boomers is starting to reach 56 years of age. So the retirement numbers are going to start to accelerate. And it's going to be a lot of upward mobility because they're leaving the workforce, which is going to leave a shortage at the bottom end. In fact, Renzi is saying that more and more people are going to retire. He said, we're feeling it big time in restaurants, barbershops, daycare centers. And he stressed that it is a nightmare. He also said that the pandemic is contributing to this problem. He said, I quote, this new strain of virus is causing people to stay home because they're ill and applying for unemployment, and the unemployment benefits are very rich and there's no reason to get back to work. And he stressed that there is a confluence of events here that are really starting to pile up on top of one another. He said, now we're coming into the season of the summer when we need part-time workers in restaurants and other places because of seasonality. And he said, we are never going to find them. He warned that automation is becoming more and more common as a substitute for employees. He said, we are also resetting the businesses in restaurants, particularly resetting the menus, resetting the operating hours, cutting back on the days we are open. Remember, this is the former CEO of McDonald's. McDonald's knows a thing or two about automation. In fact, they invented automation in businesses in the way burgers were made. He also said this, it's going to be a major change in what's happening in the restaurant industry and other small businesses because of this shortage. Now, I want you to let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know whether you agree or disagree with these comments from Renzi and whether you think automation is actually impacting the future of American jobs. I believe that automation is going to change America forever, but this is very alarming because, as Renzi points out, there are a confluence of events. There are many things happening at the same time which have the potential to forever change the American economy. Let me know where you stand on this, and also please click the like button, please subscribe, please enable notifications. This episode of Ignition Time was based on this article that you see on Fox Business on your screen right now, and we'll provide you with a link to the resource in the description section below. Let me know what you think. Also follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Don't forget to click like, click subscribe, and enable notifications. I believe that the future of jobs is bright for those who've put in the time, the energy, and the effort to train themselves. However, if you haven't done that, then the future could be very grim indeed, just like Renzi points out. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye-bye.